Talk a little bit about that process. I mean, you guys touched on it a little bit. It's like, how long does that take? I mean, if someone's, everybody has a website, but if you don't have that much traffic to your website, you're doing a new initiative, you have a new product line, you're offering a new service, you really want to build your reputation out there, get people talking about it, become known as the expert in that area. Are we looking at a week, a month, 3 months, a year? I mean, give a sense of what's a reasonable time horizon for a new initiative?
It depends on what you are. I mean, at least for us, who wants to be friends with a bank on Facebook, right? So it took a while for me to try and make us cool and academic and of value. But when I'm talking with our veterinary clients, the folks that have loans with us, who doesn't already love their veterinarian and wouldn't love to be on the veterinary's Facebook page with their dog or cat that first moment? And the bank says, can we put you on our Facebook page? People might, oh wait, I don't know if I want to do that. So I really do think it does depend on what you are. But it's just the trust factor, I think, or the authority factor. One or the other has to come right away first. For me, it was my grandfather's name got me in the door. Now let me, by not selling you anything right now, just prove to you that we are of value. And then once we had, then I just started using school rivalries. I just said, well, spoke at LSU, and then I'd call Georgia and say, hey, we just spoke at LSU. Do you want us? Well, hell yeah, if you spoke at LSU. We just took over the SEC. But then after we did that, it was then capturing that, seeing that had value, putting it on YouTube, putting it on your website. So it became the destination. Well, I'm a veterinarian. I need a website. Where do I start? Oh, well, here's Live Oak Bank's YouTube of how to start your own veterinary website. And it becomes, as he says, the destination.
So oftentimes it's content that really has nothing to do with your business. I mean, you're teaching vets how to build a website, not how to get a loan to build a practice.
It became a bit shocking, actually. Now we are asked to speak on social media at veterinary conferences as the bank. Mm-hmm. Great.
Why did you start at veterinary schools as opposed to going to existing veterinary practices?
Veterinarians, and this again has the advantage of having this in the family, are academic. They are by the book, and if I could become academic was the goal. And also, I talked to our lenders. It's funny, who started this before. They said they loaned to one vet, and then that vet went back to his alumni party at Florida, and they had 7 other loans come from that. Because vets are it's a very difficult, it's harder to get to vet school than it is to med school a lot of the time. They have like a 8% acceptance rate. And they do so much together, they drive so hard that's who they'll listen to. So if I can get into that one alumni group and get them to trust me, then I can feel like getting to others. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a lot of value in that. Now, that's not necessarily true with dentists. And then you have to kind of restart. And there are only 28 vet schools, but there are 128 pharmacy schools. So now how do we attack that? Mm-hmm. And how do we become the authority there? So
I think, Michael, you probably, no offense to banks, but you're already cool.
Right, yeah, we had
because you guys are dealing with vintage guitars and amps. I mean, this is people's passion. This is what they want to do on the weekend. So I would think, in terms of engaging that audience, that this is what they want to do.
Yeah, we had a much easier time than you. Where we could just put up just a picture of
and you're wearing socks, I think.
Thank you. We could just put up a picture of a 1965 Fender Stratocaster and draw a crowd of dudes.
Me being
that just
one
want
of
to look
them.
at that. But I think it's important to try a lot of different things. Like on our Facebook page, for example, we would post some pictures of cabinets and stuff around the shop that we were working on. But as soon as we posted some pictures of behind the scenes and some of the employees, just packing orders. We've got, just a flood of responses of people interested in what's happening at Mojo behind the scenes. So anyway, if you find yourself struggling with, we're not getting enough traffic or we're not getting enough views or likes, my wife is big on saying, if you do the same thing, you get the same results. So, continue to try new things, even if something's working, keep throwing out new ideas, whether it's a video or behind the scenes action shots or whatever it is, until you hit on multiple different fronts.
So one of the things you mentioned was was it like tech tools or tech advice? I mean, so you started a separate website from your actual e-commerce site, and again, kind of like a bank teaching people social media. I mean, this was not, quote, selling your product. It was just sharing your expertise. Can you take people through what that was?
This is part of giving away valuable information. So we started a site called the Fender Amp Field Guide. And it's just a history of Fender amps from 1946 all the way up through the 90s. And it's, broken down into different series that Fender had, but it's all the specs of each Fender amp, from the cabinet dimensions, what's on the faceplate, the type of speakers, and then different pictures. And we don't sell anything on there, but it's our second top referral after Google search. So people go there just to look at all the amps and see, all the different specifications. We have schematics and wiring diagrams on there too. So it's just an informational site. We of course have links to Mojo on there, but that's a huge traffic source for us.
Good. RB, about driving traffic?
So to answer your original question, Rob, you can drive traffic literally within 15 minutes by turning on an AdWords campaign and hopefully capturing, a search for what your subject matter is. But that by no means creates maturity for an online business. What these guys are talking about, there's a new position now in most marketing departments called community manager. And the community manager's job is to build the community, your market, figure out what your community is, what are their information tastes, what are their interests with regards to your business, and how do you build that community? And that's where these social tools become pretty powerful. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just online. All these, getting up in front of the Wilmington business community or going to these community colleges, you can drive people to your website and continue the relationship with them online. So, I think creating content that is sort of delivered unconditionally, meaning I'm not trying to sell you anything or I'm not trying to be deceitful, engaging with your market, having conversations with your market or your audience, asking them questions. One of the most powerful things you can do on Facebook and Twitter is ask a question, because that's what's going to create the engagement. And as that virally spreads, one conversation really turns into a sort of exponential growth in within your market.
Okay. The question at table 38, John?
You guys kind of touched on this a little bit, and frequently I see entrepreneurs with a startup website and maybe their domain's wrong. Maybe it doesn't say exactly who they are or what they're trying to be. The other interesting trend I'm seeing downtown is a lot of retailers, before they open up their brick and mortar store, they're already online. What's the key for these startups to drive traffic to their website? Is SEO really what everybody, these tech shows, make it sound to be? I mean, is it really that important? Or is it like you said earlier, content's the king? Because when we redid our website in 2008, we focused on content, and people were saying you should do SEO, and I was like, we've got enough content. I don't know that I need to do. Is it really important for these startups to do SEO?
Absolutely. You're the expert on that, but I would say absolutely. At least if they can't see your content, if your site doesn't. I mean, the statistics of second and third page of Google, how many people get there, it becomes a wasteland. Even from the first search result to the fourth search result, the statistics are drastic. And if you're not showing up on that first page, that you're hurting, because it's like saying, I've got this wonderful, beautiful sign, but it's out back behind the garbage. You've got the great content, but if nobody can find it, and we had several vet practices like this that had wonderful content, but the name of their title header of their website was home, because it was the SEO wasn't done right. So it's Taylor Gray should answer this question, or there other people in this room that should answer this. It's not an easy answer, but I would say yes, it is everything it's cracked up to be.
John, I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is my audience looking for my information online? Let's separate push medium and pull medium, right? You go to Google when you want to find something. You're not going to, how many people have gone to Facebook and searched for, I'm thinking I'm in the market for a 2008 Ford Explorer. I'm going to search Facebook to see if I can find one. You don't go to Facebook to find content. You go to Facebook for that sort of passive activity stream of content, or Twitter for that passive activity stream of content from your social stream. So, but if you have the type of business where people are searching online for your content, then yes, SEO is absolutely critical. And I think what's important is that the internet is full of real estate, and the more locations you can stake your flag in, the better your brand's going to resonate. Because in the beginning, you use SEO tactics to drive people, and people look at their unique visitors or page views, and they get all excited about that. But I think the most important part is, once you spend all this time, money, and effort to drive the content, are you converting it? Are they getting to your website and realizing that you're really not the authority on this subject matter, or you don't have the best products available? And I'll be honest, John, I follow you on Twitter. You're the king of social engagement, and I think what you're doing with your efforts downtown with regards to that type of engagement is what businesses should be doing with their customers. And you're not always necessarily talking about downtown business events, but you're sharing your experiences with things around town, and I think that goes to further your business agenda. So,
Question at table 34, Lauren.
How y'all doing? So my question is, the PricewaterhouseCoopers IAB Internet Advertising revenue report for 2011, it showed that the internet advertising revenue increased by $5.6 billion from 2010 to 2011, which was the highest increase of all time. And I was wondering if you guys thought that this was in large part due to the advancements in technology and just the overall use of mobile devices. And sorry, a little nervous. And if so, how do you plan on leveraging that to reach new customers and bring in new revenue?
I question how much of that increase is driven as a result of mobile, because there's still quite a bit of challenge to figure out how to monetize mobile marketing. I think maybe the bigger increase is a result of social. So let's look at advertising as a whole throughout, not just internet, but advertising and marketing as a whole. 80%, I forget where I heard this statistic, but I'm not pulling it out of thin air. 80% of the world's marketing budget is for traditional push media vehicles, right? So TV commercials, magazine ads, airport signs, push media. Historically, 20% has been for pull media, Google, direct marketing, direct response type stuff. Facebook, the reason that Facebook's valuation is so off the wall is because it offers marketers the ability to engage in brand equity and brand building in a push media form online that had not historically existed. So if you're Nestle chocolate, you're not expecting people to be searching Google for chocolate milk or Snickers bars, but you do want to build your brand. You can't really build a brand on Google, but Facebook gives you the opportunity to build a brand. So these types of tools, I think, is what's driving increases in online spend.
I'd add to that too, if you're a business like we are, and why we would spend the extra money on Facebook, and LinkedIn is another one, is we have a very specific customer, and Facebook and LinkedIn gives us the option as advertisers to say, I want my ad to only show up in the profiles where people have said they are a veterinarian or a dentist or a pharmacist. So I'm not wasting money pushing out my ads to people that don't matter. So I'll spend more money all day long if I know a veterinarian's looking at it. And I think that LinkedIn and Facebook have really developed their software on their end to make it more appealing to marketers like me that, it's tough to advertise in a print ad because there are ways to track it. I know that, but it's difficult. But I can see number one, how many veterinarians are on Facebook who at least put it in their profile, and then how many of them click my ad and just spend my money there. So it's a easy answer to spend more money when you have that kind of option.
Have you guys shifted, Jimmy or Michael, in terms of mobile? Have you guys shifted any of your resources or adding resources specifically to target mobile devices versus internet in general?
We don't, it's different for us because our average customer is $1 million loan. We have 250, 400 customers a year. It's a banner year. Mm-hmm. I'd love to meet somebody who books $1 million loan on their iPhone. I just want to talk to them for a little while. But so it's not so much there, just that as long as it works well on an iPad, mainly for us to push marketing material, but we're not looking to convert on a mobile device.
I'd be interested to know how many people have bought something on their phone in the last 6 months. Okay, not a ton, but we get at least half of our Google searches come from a mobile device, and we have a separate ad campaign, a pay-per-click mobile ad campaign that we run on Google, and have seen mixed results about like the number of people that were raising their hands.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, we've been concentrating most of the discussion on the front end, what consumers, what everyone sees. Let's talk a little bit about the back end, and specifically cloud computing, which is very much in the media these days, and people talking about it, and talk about how that affects your businesses and your business models. And I think the main example, if you can see at the paper at your seats, is a spin-out business that Live Oak has called Encino, which a short description of is probably they're bringing banking into the cloud. So maybe you talk a little bit, Jimmy, about how that happened, and and then for all of your businesses, what the power, the affordability of cloud computing, what does that do for your operations?
Well, it's for a couple different reasons. If you bat 800 in the major leagues, you're gonna win every award possible. If you have an 800 bat at 800 in banking, you're gonna get a cease and desist order pretty quickly. So it's about having a real-time, up-to-date point of view of exactly where you stand in the bank, what tax returns have been sent in by the customer, who's late on a payment, where is the loan in its process. And we said it's 2000, at the time, 2010, there has to be a way to figure this out without having the old bank model of someone pushing a cart down the hallway and taking the loan file and putting it on your desk when you have a question about the 2009 tax return. And basically, once we could image all that data and put it together as we converted the loan with the customer, because we do SBA loans, and there are 39 separate documents for that one loan. And it's always been the stepchild of the bank, and nobody wants to do SBAs because it's too complicated. But well, if we can automate this and then therefore see where it is in the process, and then have a better picture of where our bank is at all times, that we can look up on our iPads or on our phone, and my father can see that we have 49 loans in closing, we have 82 in the pipeline, and have that type of efficiency of where we stand. That's a positive thing. It also helps when you say, well, there are 39 documents in this SBA loan, and we spend 31 days as our average cycle. But 8 days always happen when, it always clogs up for 8 days when we want to get an environmental order. Well, can we make that more efficient? And we find that inefficiency, then we shorten it, and then now we've got a way to beat our competition. So as we developed the software, it became, we can't run our bank without it right now. It's become so vital. But you can come up to us at a conference if you're a Live Oak customer and say, I sent all my stuff in, where are we? And we can pull the entire loan, image documents right there on our phone if we want to, and say, actually, your lawyer hasn't turned in the EPA. And here you go. And then once it's closed, we can see that we've got all your statements in of your for your first year. With startup, we require it for the first 18 months. And we say, it looks like your cost of goods sold a little out of whack with industry standards. So let's see what we can do to help you out and make sure that we take care of you on the back end of this as well. And it's really revolutionized our bank, and it's gotten some other people excited too.
Got memories? Get DVDs. Tapes won't last forever. Digital transfers will. Do it today, so you'll have your memories tomorrow. Call us at 399-1820 or online at myrealvideo.com. Mold and time ruin videotapes. Tapes won't last forever. Digital transfers will. Do it today, so you'll have your memories tomorrow. Call us at 399-1820 or online at myrealvideo.com.